I'm taking a full assumption on this.
Right, yeah.
But we're just, I can only read what it says,
Yep.
okay? So go ahead, give me about, I'm gonna give you guys 5 to 10 minutes on this. Actually, we're not doing too bad, because we're not gonna cover everything. I want you to think about some good questions, and we're gonna talk about it. Let me know when you're done. Just raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Marcus, almost done?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So everyone's done. Excelente. Now we're going to, let's talk about some of those questions. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I thought you were asking.
Yeah, tell me one of your questions.
Can you afford to fix the roof?
Oh, good one. Another one. I want everyone to give me one.
Can you please explain or tell me your reason to the offer of $155?
Who said that? I freaking love that question. That's one of my favorite questions to ask, and it throws them off. Next.
What's the maximum price you're willing to pay? Or you're approved for, whatever?
Okay.
Do you really want this property? Or are you willing to get rejected for low bond? Or if,
How bad do you want the property? How about that?
okay.
That's an important question, Hunter. Because at the end of the day, it's always a great question to ask, hey, I'm cool with making this offer, but are you okay if we don't get this one? You know? If it's an investment property, the majority, I would say 95% of the time, you're gonna hear yes. When it's a property that everybody in the family agrees upon, and ask them honestly, say, listen, I'm your preacher. You tell me anything you want, I won't tell the other side, but I need to know where your mindset is, so I know. And just tell them, you know, it's between the two of you. Todd, what was yours?
I'm assuming that they're pre-approved for the 155.
Yes.
With this question.
Yes.
Okay? If I could show you a loan that you could get that would include the repair of the roof, would you be interested in that?
What was, say that again?
Well, I'm thinking of the FHA 203 loan, which you can get the loan for the property plus the loan for repairing the roof. And it would bump up their monthly payment probably $5. You know about that loan?
You now, bad idea.
It includes repairs to the property. So you could buy a property that needs fixing.
Marcus, what you got for me, baby?
Can she move it all in exchange for a credit? Closing costs?
Could who move?
Could-
You're asking your
My
buyer.
Yeah.
You're asking, what are you going to ask them again?
Can they move up in the price and get a credit instead? And do they know about Keller Mortgage?
Keller Mortgage. My video? I love Keller Mortgage. Are we recording?
Yeah.
I go to talk to Gary in 2 weeks. There's visual proof. I said I love Keller Mortgage. Okay. Actually, these are, so here's the questions I came up with. And I think these are all spectacular. And you know, before we even get to, let's just start answering some of these, because I think this is where we're gonna go with this. Can you afford to fix the roof? So if they're making that $155,000 offer, I think it's really important that we have that answer clarified. Because you don't want to get them into that house at that price, and then they have a $15,000 liability they can't afford.
And it's a serious one, the roof.
Massive.
Yeah.
And it's something that should be fixed before they move in. Because depending on, at that price point, I'm guessing somewhere in the Midwest. Midwest has tornadoes and hurricane, no, it's not hurricane, it's Midwest.
Rain.
They have massive rain, they have tons of tornadoes. Things that could blow that roof off in minutes. Or download, just cats and dog rain and big trouble. So, great question on that. Can you explain to me where you came up with the offer price? So, one of my favorite questions to ask, because sometimes they just come out of their butt. Actually, the majority of the time that is. Because I've given them comps, and more than likely, we've looked at other properties at this point. So I'd love to see that. Get where their mindset is. Their mindset could be simplistic. I got $25,000 in the bank that we were gonna do some fixing up and buy some new furniture. I'm cool with allocating $15,000 to the roof, doing some small repairs, and I'll do more repairs later on. Especially if I can get a deal. That's where the mindset is. Can I get a deal? That's an awesome mindset, because here's the cool thing about a property that has problems. You are not going to be in a bidding war more than likely. Nobody wants to take on problems. So even in an appreciating market like we are, that is a great opportunity to actually get a steal of a deal for your client when work is to be needed. People on the main line have zero desire to do on their investment property work. But again, a heck of a way to steal a property. You get a killer deal for your client because they know. So here's the math. Remember we told you that house is probably worth $195 with it fixed, right? So they're in for it at $155. They put another $15,000. They're at $170. They saved $25,000, and it's all because nobody else wanted to do the work. And the majority of people don't want to do the work in Maui. You probably run into a little bit different of a scenario if you're selling real estate on the mainland. A lot of people are like, I'll do the work. Hell, my cousin's a roofer. He'll do it for me for cheap. So that's a different scenario. But we are talking Maui, so we want to be real specific here. That when a property comes up with that kind of situation, ask them to explain the offer price, because it can make up. You may be thinking one way, and after you've heard their explanation, I've had clients change my mind more than once to the better. Like, their explanation, because we always think we know best. But then they tell us it, and you're like, huh, makes perfect sense. And now you have a better way to negotiate it too, because now you're in their mindset. What's max price? I think that comes back to finding out where they're at. Because if we know that they're willing to move up on that price and 155 is not their bottom line number, we know how we negotiate it. So knowing that is very important. How bad do you want the property? Are you willing to lose it? If this is a family here's a great example. You have a family who's on a timeline. They're moving over here. Kids are about to start school in a new district and they need to be at that house. Can't afford to lose it. This is the scenario that you have to explain to them. Hey, I get where you're at. Let's figure out some other terms to make this work, but we're gonna have to come up. We're gonna have to come a little closer. Let's make it work for you guys.
Going back to motivations, basically?
It is. But sometimes they don't think about that motivation. So this is our job to remind them. So if we always know the motivation in the back of our mind, we know how to gently and lovingly remind them, hey guys, this scenario works really well for you because you're gonna get into the house in 30 days. Johnny and Susie start school in 42 days. It's gonna be about 12 days. That means we're only gonna have about 12 more days to find another property for you. And as you've seen, we've looked at a lot. This might fit it. This might be the chance that we really come to the table like a much better offer. If I could show you a loan that could include the cost of fixing, would you accept? That's another. With that statement, if they say yes, the very next question is call your lender and see if these people are going to qualify for a 203K. Because if they're not, get it out. Now, I may actually call the lender first before I ask that question. Probably what I do, but I'm also a research freak. I like to have things known before. So I may call the lender and say, hey, here's the scenario I'm looking at. What do you think? I'm not really going to try to push it so they say it, because they're never going to want to say that word. That's a no-no in their mind, because it's a pain in the butt moment. But we gently push them towards it. Okay. Would you move up in price if I can get the credit?
You mean closing credit?
Closing credit? More than, I'm guessing that would mean a credit to fix the roof, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's an important one. There was no right or wrong answers. My questions were somewhat similar. What is it about the house that has made it your favorite? Why are we offering on this one? Motivation again. The likes, the loves. What is the possibility of paying for the repair and we stay at your asking price of $155? Again, This is really important to know that do not put your clients in a bad situation where they can't afford to fix that roof. Okay. What if, here's, you ready for one? What if the seller counters with a full price offer, fixes the roof, no repairs to you? Are you good with that? That's my favorite scenario. That's probably the scenario I'm going to push 9 out of 10 times. Let's take possession of this house, fully fixed, for the price they want, and be done with it. I have more than one occasion going above the ask price and had them fix certain things to make the deal work. Especially if I thought there was equity and I could prove equity to my buyer. Yes?
With the idea, continuing on what you said yesterday, which is buyers wanna move into a good house.
Yeah.
Not a problem house.
Yeah.
So that's where you would say, oh, it's bid 175, I'll even give you 180, but I want that roof like mint. I want it
Yeah,
like a new roof.
totally.
Because my buyers.
And I think knowing your client is the key, and if they're willing to do the work themselves and save the money, do it. Done. But it can be sometimes troublesome to get a loan when there's a problem with a roof. So remember that, guys. So if they're paying cash, no big deal. It's a non-issue. But if there's a loan involved, it could become an issue, depending on how bad the roof shows when the appraiser comes out.
And then what about them fixing, let them, like a seller might be hesitant just because, okay, so we're gonna spend 15 fixing the roof, what if the deal falls through?
Ooh, awesome question. Awesome question. So, what I say to a client in this scenario, I say, listen, I wanna make you the seller on this. You're gonna put the roof on, and if something happens, you decide you don't want the deal anymore, what then? A lot of times buyers are gonna say, well, now they have a new roof and they could resell it for more. What I will try to say is, hey, you really want this house, right? Yeah, of course. And the only thing that's holding up is getting that done, correct? Absolutely, that's it. Great, how about this? Why don't we put, like, say, 5,000 of that deposit as hard money once the roof is fixed? Meaning that if they fix the roof and we get cold feet, we pay $5,000 of the bill. But you're getting a roof that's fixed.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a good.
It's a great
yeah, that's a
suggestion.
good- Yeah.
I usually won't pay the full amount as hard money unless it's a cash deal, then I don't worry. But you know, things happen. If somebody loses their job at the last second, they can't get the financing approved, I would hate for my client to lose their deposit because of that. So you have to be smart the way you present it by, having some cautious for your buyer. I have had, during a J1 inspection period, have had major issues in a house, had to get fixed. Seller's like, screw that, we told you it was as is, we gave you a great price. Hey, you fix these things, our money will go hard at the completion. You have no way to lose. Okay, that usually shuts everyone up and gets the deal done. So having the different, don't ever let the problem be the problem. Come up with a couple different solutions, present it, and see what happens. You always want to make that deal work. Presenting the offer, okay? Calling the other agent, asking them questions, let them talk. Pay attention to the nonverbal cues. You know what those are? Way their body language. Sigh is the biggest one. You'll hear that on the phone a lot. You're killing me. Keep attention to those cues, real important. Super excited. Oh man, I love that offer. I can't wait to work with you. Yeah, let me see what I can do. I don't think we're gonna have to worry about a counter. I think we're getting an accepted offer when I hear that. That kind of look. Keep quiet once you present the offer. Let the other agent speak. Don't worry about dead silence. Let them see if they're gonna speak. Then they will. But if it goes 30 seconds with no voices, then maybe you talk or let it see. Don't be afraid of dead silence. Nothing wrong with that. Listen to what's important to the other party. Almost every seller's agent will tell you the important factor for the seller, whether it's top price, fast closing, don't want any issues. right? Those are big things. And if they don't want any issues or a fast closing, it usually means I'm getting a deal for my clients. I'm going to purposely not offer what I was thinking of we should offer. Yes?
When you say issues, like what specifically?
Like, you know, they know there's a lot of manini things to get fixed in the house, but they don't want to be bothered with it.
Okay.
Things like that.
Can you just quickly do a role play where you're the buyer agent and I'm the seller agent? I just want to know how you would try and get information from me.
Sure.
You're about to make an offer. Let's just
Yes,
say.
ring. Hey Jonathan, it's Todd Hudson at Keller Williams, the 808 team. How you doing?
Good to hear from you.
Yeah, good to hear from you. Yeah, thanks for showing us that property up on Roar Avenue last week. You know, I'm getting my clients to an offer.
Oh,
They
yeah.
really like the house.
Yeah, they seem like they liked it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's good news.
Can you tell me, just give me a clue here. Tell me what's important to your clients. Is there anything I should know before making the offer? Help me push them over the edge so I can make sure they make an offer.
Okay, thanks.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's simplistic. Yeah. Very non-threatening, right? Does anyone feel like I was pushing too hard? Very non-threatening. Any rebuttals you want to throw into it? I can try to help answer it.
Yeah, well, you know, or like just as an example, that's where I might say, yeah, you know, they'd love to get this done. A fast closing would be good.
All right, fast closing.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think my clients were at about a 65, 70-day closing because they had to get rid of some things and make this work. Let me see what I can do. I'm gonna push them real hard. You know, what works for you? I mean, in an ideal world, how fast do your clients want to be out of this place?
I mean, you know, if they could do 30 days, it would really be amazing.
Okay, let me see what I can do. I'm really glad I know that. I'll push that. You know, well, that'll probably help us with some negotiations too, I would guess. Is that right?
Yeah.
See what he just told me? He just told me I can negotiate the price down. And it was very non-confrontational, right?
You're framing it as helping.
They also had a bad experience with another offer that fell out, and so a healthy down would be good.
Yeah, cool. I get it. I mean, Jonathan, you know me, you know my reputation. If I think it's solid, I don't have time to waste on deals. I'm definitely going to try to put this in, not have full out. They're totally approved. They're actually putting a massive down payment down. Let me see what I can do. I don't think that's going to be an issue. Like, you thinking $30,000, $40,000 as a down works? Is that kind of where you were thinking?
Yeah, that would be good.
I was going to put that number in anyways. You see, you gotta let them talk. Get them talking. Cool. Hey, you know I work with Agnes all the time over at Old Republic. I love working with her, and she really caters to our deal. Is it cool? That's what I'm going to use for my escrow company.
That's not an issue.
Awesome. So I got more out of this deal, right? So we can keep going. Let's see what else. So, you know, when we were there, I saw there was a couple things that looked like, you know, some of those switches weren't working. You know, we'll probably be able to get those taken care of after the inspection, right?
Well, you know, these guys they actually don't want to deal with little stuff.
Okay.
They just want to kind of make the sale and be done.
Gotcha. Okay.
I feel
My
like
clients
that was
are from out
reflected.
of town. It might be a little more difficult on this one. You know what? Don't even worry about it. We'll talk about that when the inspection comes through. So,
I was just trying to give a
yeah, he gave a great answer. See? He's trying to say, nah, screw that crap. You're not going to play this game with me. And I said, yeah, totally, I get you, baby. But, and I made a massive but in there. I said, we'll just wait till the inspection comes through and see what shows up. So, I've prepared him. I've very much prepped it all the way out. We're going to come in a little bit lower. We're going to try to get your 30-day closing. I'm going to use my escrow person. And you pretty much know that we're going to have some inspection items to get worked on. But it was very non-confrontational. It was very much an open, flowing conversation.
And would you say that do you do the same from the other side? If it's your listing and somebody calls you trying to feel things out, do you?
Anybody want to try the opposite side with me on this? No?
Bob,
Come
you're
on.
here.
What do you want me to do?
You want to play the opposite role? You want to be the buyer's agent calling me?
Sure.
Okay.
And what am I trying to get across now? Sorry.
I don't know, you tell me.
This is
You're
just
the buyer's
sort of,
agent.
yeah, pre-negotiation, trying to either find out what you can, if there's anything that would help your offer. That was the original thing. Like,
Oh.
he was saying why not, you know, if you can find, like, in that last role play, it turned out because he asked that I made it clear that the client would love a fast close, and he was sort of articulating some things that he thinks that his buyers want.
So I'm representing the buyer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you've got the
I'm the listing
listing.
agent. You know, call me and just pick my brain before you put.
He and I have known each other for a long time, so,
Yeah.
I mean, I would call him up and I'd say, Todd, it's Bob calling, how are you?
Good, baby, what's going on?
What's new in
That's
your
actually
life?
how I talk, in case
Yeah.
anybody hadn't known.
What's new in your life?
Shit, it's working nonstop, you know how it is, trying to make a dollar.
Yeah, well, me too. Hey, listen, I've got clients who are interested in possibly writing an offer, on your listing over on there on Old Kelly Street.
Was that that cute couple that came in last week? Man, they really liked it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
They did.
it's cool. You know, we've been showing the heck out of it.
I
can tell you
know, so
before.
tell me what you can tell me.
So, not much. I mean, it's kind of a great house. You saw it had amazing bones. You know, it's not a perfect house. Probably could use a little bit of work. Sellers are obviously motivated. You saw we just dropped the price 15 grand.
Have you all done an inspection already, or an appraisal or
No,
anything?
no, we haven't done anything. You know, they're living off island now. You know, they moved last week. Hear that? Bob's my friend. I can tell him that. I'm okay with that. And I give him a little so I can get some more back out.
Now, if that was true, I'm just curious, like, is there a tactic to that, or are you just being honest?
No.
Just sharing truth?
Sharing truth because I'm giving a little bit of information that Bob had already probably figured out when he was at my house.
Because it was empty, let's just say, it wasn't even staged, empty house.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you gotta understand, if you give something to somebody that they should have already figured out, it's not really giving. It's just being transparent.
Okay.
Got it?
Right. So,
They wanna make a deal.
what kind of, so have we got some urgency going on here? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, come on, Bob. You know what I'm trying to tell
I
you.
know, I know.
You know, they moved out. You know, the good thing is this, they don't have a mortgage on the property, but they definitely.
So they
want to-
don't need to sell it, no, that's what you're saying?
They do. They're not living here anymore. They want to sell it for sure.
Okay. All right, well, you've got it listed at $1,250,000.
Yeah.
Okay? Would my clients even be in the ballpark if their first number was a 1, but their second number was a 1?
That's a great question, Bob. We haven't had an offer yet. We dropped the price.
I know.
I would say, get it to me. Let me see what I could do. I honestly feel it's probably gonna have to be in the 1-2 range-ish.
Okay?
But you know me, I'm gonna work this bad boy as hard as I can and see what we can do.
Well, if I start my people at 150 and then just take that as an opening,
Yeah.
take that as an opening,
Yep.
okay?
I think that's a great offer.
And we'll see what happens.
I guarantee you, I will come back with a counter at worst case scenario.
Just give me a fair shot.
Absolutely.
Okay.
He just opened up and said, give me a fair shot. What does that mean to anybody?
That means he can go up a little.
Uh-huh.
See, I mean, jeez.
But
I
And I
didn't
know
realize,
my-
I
There's no
didn't
wrong
realize,
answer.
no, I just didn't realize there was that level of negotiation before anything goes on paper.
because you don't try.
I thought you did that on paper, and I didn't.
No.
I mean, you guys just
He-
saved a lot of, that,
he and I
he
were-
was gonna come in at 1, that's a totally different thing.
He was coming at
I was gonna
1-1,
come
I
in at
got to
1-1.
1-1-5.
You went up to
10
And he
seconds.
says, hey, you said 1-2, so I said, okay, well, what if we came in at 1.5 as a starting point?
Yeah.
So
See,
maybe,
I got him up 50,000 by being nice. That was it, and being realistic. And he's already made it clear. He's got a buyer who really wants to buy. Yeah, I've made it clear. I have a seller who wants to sell.
wants to sell.
I mean, my guess is if we were doing that negotiation and those were the real prices, I'd be like, Bob, I think we can make a deal. Let me go freaking work my magic for you.
I would
And
fully,
you would say that, or you do it the way you did?
Depending on who the agent was. If it was Bob or somebody that I know and like, frick yeah, I would. I want them to stay excited on my property and not go look at anything else. More than likely, I know what my magic number is for my seller. I know what it is. And it's probably 175.
Yeah. Where they said to you, if you could get us that, we'd be really happy. Like, we'd love to get more, but Todd, you're listing this, and if we ended up with that, we'd be set. Like, that's the magic number, right?
Yeah.
When you say there's
I'm
a
asking,
magic
I'm
number.
asking at the listing presentation what the magic number is.
As opposed to like, look, if we get anything under 125, we'd be really upset, like, it would hurt us.
Look, I took headshots of Todd Hudson when he first started out, because he didn't have a photographer, so I took headshots. I'm showing him all the pictures of you when you were a kid, okay? So he and I've known him forever and ever and ever and ever. And we were both taught by the same guy, and the same guy said, look, buyers and sellers are gonna come and go, but you gotta keep your relationship with your other agents going. So if he called me and he could be totally honest with me, and I would be totally honest with him, we'd still be negotiating.
Yeah.
But that'd be different than if I was calling,
A brand new agent, say it that way.
okay, well, I was thinking of somebody older
Yeah, I
that
know.
was you know.
You know who you were thinking of.
No, he doesn't.
No, but I know the premise.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you so much. This is really helpful.
totally different.
Sorry to go off.
If you don't ask, you don't know.
Right.
And the worst case, and I have had my wings clipped more than once by an agent says, you know I can't tell you that. There's a little bit of truth to that, not a lot. The reality is, in your listing agreement, if you're smart, on the last portion of it, it says you're allowed to discuss all offers with all agents.
Wait, is that something you have to add in or no?
No, it's standard
So
in our,
that would cover what you were just doing.
unless it's dual
Oh, but-
agency.
Oh, okay.
Unless it's dual agency.
Oh,
Then you wanna get something.
Which this would be now.
Oh, yeah, but if it was dual agency, it'd be a different scenario, because then I have a very specific conversation with my clients. I ask them, how much can I negotiate for you? I always ask that question. I said, I'm an awesome negotiator, and I'm gonna make your life so much easier by not going back and forth. If you give me a little bit of latitude, I'm not going to lie. There are more than one client said, yeah, I don't think so. That's okay. I'm trying to save them time. I'm trying to save them money and time.
And what does that mean if they say, no, I don't think so?
Then it's everything's on paper.
Okay.
Everything. I can have that conversation
On paper.
if we're not dual agency. If we're dual agency, no way.
You would just say, Bob, please submit your offer.
No,
And
I'm
then it
gonna
would
be
go
a
straight
lot
to your
better than
client.
that. I'm gonna be like this, I'm like, top line, you know me. You know I shoot straight. Here's the deal. They've clipped my wings and they won't let me talk about it on a dual agency. Here's what I can tell you. What we've talked about in our offer, present it. Let me see what I can do for you. I'll work on it. So he's not really allowed to tell a price to his client. He has literally given me hypothetical statements. And I hypothetically came back at him. And he hypothetically came back 50,000 more. And it was done in such love. There was no fighting. See that? See how that works
In the
better?
scenario we just did, I was approaching it that I was working at a different,
Agency.
Brokerage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
if I was working at the same brokerage,
It starts a little different.
And then you're certain.
Yeah, there's difference.
Mm.
Well, yeah, because I thought, Todd, in the dual agency, isn't it supposed to be that the agents don't negotiate, that the money is decided by the clients?
When the camera's not on, why don't you ask me that question again?
Okay,
The answer is very, very simple,
okay.
very simplistic.
Well, and I'm only
You
saying.
must follow the rules,
KW.
but you are allowed to ask your client prior, as long as you get in writing. And I'm gonna tell you right now, in the state of Hawaii, a text message is now considered law. It's considered writing.
So it's an email.
I'll never do something in a dual agency to risk my license, because it's the number one way
Yep.
we get fined. It's the number one reason we get into lawsuits, and it's the number one reason a realtor will lose his license.
Yep.
Except for a DUI, that's actually the number one reason. But that's the second reason, right? So I make sure I get it in writing. Text message. Say, hey, I have this agent that I've worked with well in the past, done a tremendous amount of transactions, is asking me some questions. It might be a little bit far out of our dual agency part. How much latitude do you give me to discuss on this? See what they say. They can cut it off. What's the cool thing about a dual agency is, like I was telling her, you can put both people in the same room with two different agents and work out a deal. I've done that many times. I've actually been in a Cam Sands unit with the buyer. No, I'm sorry. I was the buyer's agent with my client, the seller's agent and his client, and we literally hashed out the entire deal in about 15 minutes.
Wow. That's it.
And we wrote it up one time and it was done.
It's done.
Yeah. And the cool part is, Me and Alan, the other agent, we didn't really do much. We started the conversation out, and we let them work out the numbers. And they were two Canadians who wanted to fight back and forth until we jumped in and said, hey guys, let's not worry about that, let's worry about this. And that was the most we did in that whole conversation. They worked out all their terms. We just got 3% each to put two people in the same room. It doesn't always work that way. And you need to know your client. If your client is a nitpicker, if your client is a half glass empty kind of person, don't do it. They have to be upbeat type of clients. It's real important. So Kevin is an amazing agent. We are lucky to have him in the back here. And he's negotiated tons of deals. And he is a professional writer. Since he is sitting down, I am going to use to ask a couple questions from him. We're going to talk about nonverbal clues when you are face-to-face and when you're on the phone. Give me some positive face-to-face things, Kevin. Yeah, sorry to put you on, but
Oh, no.
I love
Positive
having you
face-to-face things with clients?
yeah, when you're with clients, some clues, some nonverbal clues without them telling you face-to-face, what's a positive one?
A lot of eye contact, you can see a lot in their eyes.
Yep. Eye contact. What else?
Body language, time of response when you're speaking with them.
Time of response. Oh, that's a good one. I didn't think of. Time. And would you say if it's a quick response, that's a good thing or a bad
Yes,
thing?
I find that people that already know what they want in their heads and they're committed to the deal, they'll tell you that in a lot of different ways.
Okay. What else? Got anything else for me?
Smiles.
Smiling?
Yep.
Happy.
Happy,
Happy.
laughter.
Happy.
Laughter. Laughter's big. So happy. Laughter. Anything else anyone has?
Leaning forward to listen to
Leaning
you.
forward. Yeah, I've heard that a lot of times. Like engaged. You know, they're engaged in that conversation. Anything else? How about sitting back, open hands, relaxed?
Watching the interaction with them and their spouse.
Yes. I didn't even think about the spouse part. If somebody's laid back, because if they're not laid back, I mean, if they're like this, like this, like this, like this, those are our negatives. Just gave you guys 5 negatives. Give me some more negatives. Who else has some negatives?
Sigh.
So I think that's gonna be more of a phone one.
Oh, okay.
Because that, I mean, it's not, yeah, I mean, I think sigh is definitely much more phone now. Because that's when we have to listen to. Anything
Not
else?
looking at you,
Yeah.
not paying attention to you.
Huh. Not looking. Anything else?
Like you said, arms crossed, or tense.
Arms crossed. Tense. Tense, actually, more.
Distracted. I don't know if that's negative, but it's not positive.
It depends. That's a situational thing, I think, because it could be like me and just have massive ADD and just get freaking bored after 2 minutes. I'm sorry, it is who I am. That's what I like about teaching. I actually don't sit. I see most of my.
I got another positive for you.
Go for it.
If they sit down in the place, if you're showing them
Oh
home,
my God! I
and they
never
sit
thought of
down and they're comfortable sitting down on the furniture and relaxing, you can see yourself here in Illinois, come on.
I love to say, hey, can you see yourself?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be awesome to be having drinks here
Can you see
every
yourself
night?
having coffee out here every morning?
That's a good one. That's a really good one. Any more negatives?
Shifting in their seat.
Yeah, didn't I have? I had something like that. Shifting is a great one though. That could be ADD as well though. So you got to know your client on that. So I am a shifter. That's my legs. Just did the little munchkin thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Little people, not munchkins. Little people.
We represent.
Anything else negative you guys have? Okay. I think just the lack of disinterest alone. That's gonna be more different than That's gonna be different than tense and distracted. Just the
Disinterested.
non-committal. It's kind of like everyone's been on a date with somebody and just like, Like, okay, I'm gonna get through this date, but you'll find that with your clients. So pay attention to that. That's a real big positive one, or a really negative one, but something to keep in mind. On the phone, give me some positives. What you guys got positives on here?
They know, they already have information on on what you're doing. They've done research. They're
Done
engaged.
research, love it. So now that is coming from a hardcore professional agent. I'm going to tell you guys this right now. The majority of our clients are so much smarter than you.
Yep.
They have already done their research. They've already done their Zillow. Their assistants have probably pulled everything up humanly possible. I have had clients walk in, right, to a place and say, hey, I like this property. Problem though, they have, did you know, I hate when they say, did you know, because I don't always know. Did you know that there's an issue with the borderline in the back? It literally is like a punch to the jaw. I'm like, no, here's the deal. I usually won't research everything until we kind of downsize to the last couple properties. Like, but then don't worry, then I'm gonna get down and dirty and gritty and find out everything. I just gotta be honest. I'm like, hey, I don't have time to search 10 properties and know everything about it. But the second they show interest, I get dirty. I find out stuff about it.
Do you have a research checklist that you go through?
Yeah, I should. I don't. It's kind of in my brain. I love to call and ask right off the bat. I pull a prelim sometimes, depending on the title. And you can go into Kiva, and it'll tell you if they have open permits. Yeah. I can tell you I don't always do it. But when it comes to a bigger property, starts to get above 800,000 or more, depending on my client, I'll start to get into it. Honestly, my TC does a lot of that for me anyway, so I don't worry about it too much, and then I use it as a negotiation play.
Does the TC do, Kiva is your responsibility?
My responsibility.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
Upbeat, same thing,
Yep.
upbeat.
Yeah, upbeat for sure, guaranteed.
Energetic voice,
Energetic
happy,
voice.
laughing. All that.
Anything else? Did anyone notice all the conversations I had a big smile on my face while I was doing the negotiations?
You can hear
It's
it.
important.
You can hear it.
So I am never confrontational. Not my style. Kevin, have you ever seen me confrontational?
Not even when it looked like you should have been confrontational on the outside.
Yep. It doesn't win. It
win.
seriously doesn't win.
Alright.
So if I keep everyone happy, joy, they're on my side immediately. And I've had really disgruntled people call, and I'm just trying to be as happy as possible, and they're like, hey, I'm gonna fix the problem.
Can you think
I
of
will say I get aggravated to the point where sometimes I'll be like, hey, you can keep bitching, you can keep complaining, or we can find a solution and I can help fix it. Now, if you want to just continue to complain, no worries, I'm gonna write them all down. But why don't we just fix the problem? And it'll take them for a second to see what I'm trying to do. But that's about as confrontational as you'll ever hear me get. At the end of the day, they want to call and scream and complain. I'm okay with that. I don't care. I mean, it's gonna roll off me the second I hang up.
you've worked with a lot of agents, so
Yeah.
I'm assuming that you can think of at least one or two that have a very different, maybe more aggressive confrontational style.
Top of my head, I can think of 20 agents that are extremely aggressive to work with.
Yeah, that are not like that. And so how do you roll with that? You just
I usually
You
will
know,
start the
if you-
conversation with a joke with them. Honestly, joke. And you saw how I talked about? That's literally the way I talk. I mean, you've known me well enough. It's kind of the way I speak at all times. Everyone's my friend. I don't care if you don't like me. We're going to be friends when we're on the phone. I don't care. I mean, at the end of the day, it's what it really comes down to is like, I'm not going to get offended if somebody gets mad, and I'm not going to get offended if somebody thinks they have to win. So if I know I'm dealing with an agent who has to win on every deal, and there are a lot, my goal is to purposely do something dumb at the beginning and let them correct, and be like, oh, thank you. I'll do it just like that, thank you. And they'll kind of, the second I get a out of them, I know I've broken the meanness, or not meanness, I've broken down the
given
wall a
them
little
a mini
bit.
win.
Yeah, mini win. It's okay. As long as my client gets the deal at the end and we've got it at a right price, that's all that matters to
All
me.
that matters.
So I never have to win. I have come to the conclusion I am an overpriced middleman. If anyone thinks they're more than that, you're not. We get paid more than doctors. We get paid more than scientists who are saving the world for us. We get paid more than
Think about it.
teachers. We are glorified middlemen. Okay? Our job is to put A and B together and take a whole nice little piece of money and put it in our pockets. Right? This is not our property. So get it out of your head that it's our property. It's not. It's our client's property. Or it's our clients who are buying the property. We want them to be the winners. So if it takes me eating humble pie, even though I didn't really even have to, but I pretended to, so they feel they won, I have no problem with that. None at all. Maybe one agent that I don't like to work with very much. But the majority of the time, I don't really have that issue, you know? I mean, we get paid so well, so well to do this job. So if I know I gotta deal with an aggressive agent, I let them stay aggressive and I be very humble and I take a back seat. When I deal with a very new agent, I am the most helpful human being in their world. And they love me. And the best part is my transaction coordinator will do the majority of their job